And it's going to be an important study today. Person going live. We live on all apparatuses. Eternal love and KOS to all. Yep, we'll be on Super 25. And this is the longest Super again, not as recorded.
It is long.
This is the longest Super matching the exact number of the names of Allah. Showing to us the relation of what it is for us to know individually.
Who started?
I just started out. That's ready?
Yeah. We all set.
We do that.
Anybody another time tune in in onlookers up? Today Friday payday, everybody.
It's for myself.
Super 25.
I come for myself.
The knowledge.
It's recorded for others.
Elma.
If you want to do half,
Hmm?
I said if you want to do half.
Oh,
then
okay. Okay. Super 25, the knowledge. Elma. 1. O you who believe, let it be said, Elma. The ancient word for knowledge.
Right. And
How about that?
and let me retranslate it so you will know what this ancient word, how they modernized it and retranslated it to mean this word that you hear now more commonly as Elohim. So when you hear the word Elohim, that is a retranslator, a poor translation of this ancient word. Alima.
Alima. So that being said, when you catch that and cipher that, that was somebody doing with bad and evil intention.
That's my point. Creating what we was reading about, because all of us in connection.
Yeah.
They was creating a secret language to hide knowledge.
That's right.
So within Elohim, that most people don't know what that is.
Yeah.
I can ask today. They don't know what it is. They associate that with the same thing as Yahweh.
Yeah.
They associate
God,
things
that's right.
with God
Yeah.
and not knowing its original meaning.
Malachi said that a lot about Elohim.
So like in how that was Hebrew. Like in Arabic, how they did it in Arabic, they say Rabbil Alamin.
Look at that.
So Alamin is this word right here.
Yeah. Elohim.
So people who had learned that in the Fatiha in Arabic,
Yeah.
that word in that Arabic prayer is this word right here. And that's how you get Elohim to Alamin to really is one plural. is one singular. And those are plural forms.
Yeah. I tell you what, translators can really take you for a ride, boy, if you don't really know.
Oh, they have.
If you not on your A game in your language, your speech, your grammar, your everything,
Right.
you finna be taken for a ride.
Right.
So in all things to know and knowledge, you got to be 100%.
You have to be.
Because if not, you finna be taken for a ride.
For a ride.
I'm gonna fly.
See, and this is a image to what I was saying. They consider Elohim as one of the names of God in the Old Testament.
Yeah.
See, and that's not an accurate name. That is a retranslated under a new language to hide what we're reading right now and what we're being revealed as the true origin and the name of knowledge.
Yeah. 2, the all-knowing, the omniscient.
There you go. See, so this type of knowledge is all-knowing.
Oh.
This is why we haven't heard of this type. You done heard Elohim.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why you haven't heard this?
Yeah.
And Elohim is a powerful name as people put power to it.
Yeah.
And they have put a lot of power not knowing what it associate with. So, but this form of knowledge, when we're talking about the creator's knowledge, the creator's knowledge is all knowing.
All knowing, right. Not some. A portion. Not a 3/5 of a man, but all knowing.
Bring it over, come on.
3, and the 23rd name of Allah. The infinite, the unique, the all-knowing.
So as you see, it's part of Allah. You're gonna continue. We have continuous read the all-knowing.
The all-knowing, in every pretty much super, the all-knowing.
Right. And we have went over each sufa, and each sufa contains one of these names.
That's right.
See, that's part of the study.
Yeah.
Of the Al Sufyan.
Yeah. 4, all language, all writing, all history. And when you look at today's society, and when you're looking at language alone, they want to ration just 1 or 2 languages for you to learn, as though they don't want you to be able to communicate with too many people. That way, they have pretty much control of you, because if you can't speak 1 language, you ain't gonna be bothering too much want to hold a conversation with anybody else other than your language, because you don't really have the time for them now. Just language alone, because y'all don't have anything to talk about. And you see that the society is set up in control of language and all writing. A lot of things been written for the truth.
And not concerning the words all law. Most writings you won't see it never changed.
That's
These people changed it.
Yeah.
So the whole study is getting back to this beginning first principle before all causes.
Yeah.
What is the first cause to all causes? And this is what the long journey of studying is for. Because there where you'll get the answers to life. What is life made of?
Yeah.
How did the origin of the universe come about?
Yeah.
What is the order of the universe? All these things was known through a form of tracing ourselves back.
It says all history. Everybody's history. This day's society, especially Florida, they don't want certain history to be taught in school. What devil that is. What evil acting evil person that is, or what state would even have the thought of preventing something like that from another people learning who they are. And not only Florida, but pretty much anywhere in this country, you will find that. Oh, I looked at some of that. I'll take pictures for what you said. I get put up there. They show history. History. 5, all disciples, all disciplines, all scripture, all inspiration, well, we do know that all scripture wasn't added, it was omitted. And those who read, you find that out. Six, so be it that Allah is all knowledge. All knowledge.
Yeah. Let's stop right there. All is very important here. It's not history. It's not scripture. It's not writings. All the words that was mentioned on 4 and 5. We want to see the word before the word describing all. So a language don't describe all. Or English don't describe all. Chinese don't describe all. What we're saying, these are just parts.
Parts, right.
Writings. Same languages, same writings. That's not all. History. That's always part. It is never the full history. It's always part. So we want to understand we're talking about all.
Yeah.
That's very important. Not a few, not some. We're talking about anything anybody say
Yeah.
is included with all. And if you're talking about anything relating to discipline or scriptures or inspiration, then we're talking about what a law is. It's telling us clear what a law is. A law is all knowledge. not a body. We're talking about something metaphysical here.
Right on.
You can't see how much knowledge someone has.
That's correct.
So when we're talking about Allah is all knowledge, this is the part where self becomes either knowing or unknowing. So if you don't get the teachings of Allah, then you don't have the teachings of knowledge of self. Because self is all knowledge. Just like Allah is all knowledge. But if you have other teachings that don't bring in the all, then that's only leaving everybody to the part.
Yeah.
And then now everybody got to choose from the part they going to play in, and which is a limited role. Everybody can't make it. But with all, now all can make it.
Yeah.
That's very important. We're talking about knowledge here. Omniscient.
And we can't help but, and we've been warned of false scriptures. And that's been done intentionally to give us false scriptures so we can be led like the sheep to the slaughterhouse. And a lot of that I've noticed in my time. A lot of false scriptures. And once people read them scriptures and believe that and learn it and quote it, oh boy, you got a problem on your hands. But you don't have time to be worried about their problem. Just focus on what you gotta do. I've learned that. What all you need to learn. All inspiration, good inspiration, inspire, in spirit. You could be inspired and be involved with the wrong thing and have the wrong thing inspiring you. And now this is your inspiration. Like with Esther, we've been taught to go to school, learn the golden rule, and then we inspire some career. And then we go after that career wholeheartedly, and nothing else matters but that career. I wonder why today we don't make nature our career, the creation our career. We should be willing to learn all about what our eyes behold. But no, we'd rather get caught up in that yakety yak, busybody peoples and what they doing and what they into. Ball game, football, wrestling, you name it. Somebody claiming it. Wrong knowledge. It 7 says, verily, if a man has performed prayers. 8, if a man has performed fast or charity. 9, and all manners of good works. The prayers, good work. The fasting, good work. The charity, good work. All manners. They go all again. All.
And it's talking about physical. Everything that is mentioned is physical. It's telling us something here about the physical, which was give you knowledge of yourself.
And it tells us that one must fast. And most folks today don't fast and ain't never fast all the days of their lives. How many? But we can't focus on that.
Right, because
But we just saying, these are duties and obligations to knowledge, and knowledge telling us that we supposed to fast.
right, if you can remember from our previous lessons, fasting was a sufa. But you're going from lower ranks to higher ranks within yourself. Those are physical acts.
Yep.
What Allah trying to get you to understand is that you're not physical. Stop understanding so much of the physical world and understand what you are,
That's right.
which has nothing to do with even the religious actions or exercises that one say they doing, fasting or good works or praying. All these are religious exercises.
10. He will be rewarded not by the weight of his piety, but by the proportion of his comprehension.
That's where we got to stop at.
11. By the proportion of his comprehension, of his knowledge of what he has learned, or what he or she or he has learned.
So,
Proportion.
and we know that's measure. When you look up the word proportion, it's in relation to measure. So in order for us to measure ourselves, we need knowledge. It's not how many times you bowed down. It's not how many times you gave a feeding hand. It's not how many times you gave this or that. Here or there, or for that case, anywhere. No one is rewarded by their physical action. The reward is the proportion of the knowledge that one receives. This is so big during the time now that our people lack poor comprehensive skills. Nobody knows what they worshiping, saying, doing, anything but what's on TV. When it comes to yourself, you told what to do, you told how to be, you told what to think, you lose all your rights, you ain't got no being, you below an animal, you sinful, all these things when it comes to lacking knowledge. These things that we press upon as outward speech is actually infectious. And it's damaging, and you can look back in time and speed it back up to now to see the damage it has done.
That's right.
If the book was so knowing, then people would have knowledge.
That's right.
But to me, people don't have knowledge because the book ain't knowing. It's something in you that was given upon you that is different from any other creature. And that's the ability to have all knowing. Why would a man that want to rule over you? Why would a government that want to rule over you? Why would anybody that want to rule over you would give you all knowledge?
Not if they want to rule over you.
Allah don't want to rule over you. He just wants you to know so you don't be ruled over.
Yes, correct.
And so in these days of time, this is what has to be opened through this new golden era. It's the age of truth, love, and truth, which is equivalent to knowledge and wisdom. If these things don't uphold man by himself, his own knowledge upholds him, then he has not been rewarded. If we looking for any other reward from Allah, Allah is nothing but all knowledge. So if you ain't looking for knowledge, you ain't looking for a law. So if one ain't seeking, if one ain't asking questions towards all knowingness, then they're not seeking for themselves. They seeking for themselves, in which is not self. And this is the most difficult virus to get out of. Doing it's been done so long.
It becomes a part of you and is you and a way of life, and you get caught up in those daily activities you're not kept.
Mm-hmm.
12. A man who seeks to imitate the mind of a fish and the actions of a monkey. That's getting down. That's saying how low can you go? That's to imitate the mind of a fish and the action of a monkey.
That's not good for us.
And we in the shape of a fish and the monkey now this day and time now because of the school system, what's been taught in this society.
I think this is the main word that we missing out. It said a man who seeks. All the things that were mentioned, if you ain't seeking it, how are you finding it?
That's right.
Man is so weak, he is now seeking weakness.
Yeah.
He is not seeking knowledge.
That's right.
This is a poor state when it said a man seeks. Seeks.
The mind.
And then, yes, what comes after that? To imitate the mind of something lesser.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can travel on land, go in the water, but you just want to act like a fish that lives in water. Not contrary to your own experience.
Yeah.
Not even secondarily, you're so busy following other people's thoughts that you never came to self-knowledge of what anything is, what all is. We still don't know what life is, what life is made of.
Yeah.
And send your answer to koscommunity.com at gmail.com.
Yeah.
Or what is life made of?
Yeah.
And let's see how many people can begin to think, because this is what they're seeking after, but they don't know what they're seeking after. And it takes for you to sit down, study, and it's going to happen that way. And if it don't happen that way, you won't receive the reward. You have to seek for knowledge. So if we ain't seeking, then we seeking for something. And that's what it's showing us. A man can do two things. He can imitate a fish, and then he can act even like a monkey. Those are two separate animals on two different scales of life. In relation to man, man can act dumb as a fish, meaning he can get caught with people baits.
Yeah. That's why he always baited up.
The Bible told people that it was looking for fishers of soul, fishermen of soul, but we didn't never catch what that means.
Yeah.
Somebody out here to steal your will.
Yeah.
And they have done it.
They have.
They don't, if you don't have the knowledge of the Creator, which people say, I know God, but if you know God, then you should be equal.
That's right.
And you should know what that is, what you knowing. So if it is you know God, then what is it that you know? And let's begin to see if you playing games on yourself or not.
Yeah. And see it, and I hear that a lot. And when the people open their mouth and they claiming they got this and they got that, and the Spirit told them and God told them that. Be careful. Because somebody might know. You talking good and you mean good, but you still coming up short.
Sure.
Coming up short.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I see a lot of. But they know they book up and down.
They just imitate men that came before them.
Yeah. And that's why you see, monkey do, because they most saying and doing the same thing. 13 say it is a useless waste until law. This here. Seeking to imitate the lower self. Says it's useless.
It's useless.
And think about the waste that comes out of you that you even don't want to see. You just want to keep it going and get rid of it. You know it's bad.
Waste.
Waste. Another word for waste is fat. When you see people that's fat walking around, that ain't nothing but a bunch of waste they carrying in their body that they need to dispose of, but they can't get rid of it. This is what's going on, and they holler in the name of Jesus and in the name of God, and this is what's going on, what we're talking about. Knowledge, all knowledge. You have all knowledge, there's no way you walk around and look like that. All knowledge is what we're talking about.
And knowledge is not physical. This is what has to be understood.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that you're seeking for is not physical on any means.
Mm-hmm.
It's just regarded to you the most delicate things you can do in the physical to show your honor and worship to the Creator,
Right.
which most people do to this day. You got groups of prayers, you got people who fast, and you got people who do good works. But none of that matters when you don't know what truly matters.
Right.
What you really supposed to be doing and helping and giving. This is knowledge. Something that you can take with you. This is the only thing that you can take with you, and no one is in this time seeking it with all of their life. I am, because I know the benefit of what it is through study. Everything else you're going to leave. So reconsider that. Everything that you're seeking for, you will be leaving.
Oh, yeah.
But it's one thing that you can seek for that you will take with you. And this is what the whole community is built upon. The purity of knowledge of self. Not anything else. Not money, not cars, not clothes, not anything physical. It's about you having a better decision and you being able to live your life to the fullest by having all knowing. If no one is speaking to you the omnipotence of who you are, you are not no savage. You are not someone in ruin. You are not someone who needs help. You are only help you need is someone to give you knowledge. And watch, you could do the rest. But it starts with the first beginning point. This is the beginning point to all manifestation. We have to understand we've been taught the opposite of knowledge, which is stereotypes. The opposite of knowledge, which is judgments. The opposite of knowledge, which is watching. Knowledge is something to seek for. This is not nothing you watch. It's something you seek for. And this is why times have not getting better for those people who not seeking for knowledge. But those who have seeking knowledge, those are the people who you will see having more fun on earth. Because earth is built for us to be raising and receiving knowledge, who you are from every living thing. But if every living thing is talking about every other living thing and not the knowledge they have learned, discovered, this is what true worship is. Acknowledgement of your creator, meaning the word knowledge is in acknowledgement. So you wouldn't have this knowledge. I know I wouldn't have this knowledge if it wasn't for Allah. Because Allah is all knowledge. All others tried to give, but they not the creator. Only the creator can make you feel sufficient. And once we understand what the creator is, who the creator is, what is all this talking about, and what is it made of, and what it has relationship to me and life, this is where knowledge comes in. How to heal yourself. That takes knowledge. He who is not sick needs not a physician. If you a metaphysician, you won't need a physician, physical physician. Knowledge is what people are seeking for when they saying spirituality. If you don't have knowledge, you don't have knowledge of the spirit. So this is what we have to understand. Anything else besides knowledge is useless. It serves its purpose. It make you temporarily happy, but how many times you go back to eat? How many times you been on full and you had to refill? But how many times, if you really have knowledge, how many times you had to refill your knowledge once you established it? How many times did it go away? Do you got to pay for it again? The things that we are paying for are useless waste. Everything we pay for has nothing to do with knowledge. It has to do with addiction. I need this. Get me to depend on you and make this so now I can come to you for this. And now you supposed to solve all my issues or done the hard work for me. There's no such thing as someone doing the work for you. This is what people are missing out on. Not doing the metaphysical work themselves. They are letting other people do the work for them, which you's missing all the glory of the reward. The reward is the knowledge that one is receiving. They don't get more beautiful and prettier than that. As we said, ain't nothing more perfect than logic that the Creator has made. Nothing more beautiful than reason.
14. When a man gladly stuffed his ears with sand and pokes out his eyes. 15. To merely honor the teaching of a false prophet.
There you go. So it's on man. He closing his ears.
With sand.
He poking out his own eyes.
Your ears.
He listening to false.
Stretch his eyes.
Now to honor the falsehood. Now that's a big.
Of a false prophet. This is what's going on.
The teachings. To honor the teachings of the false prophet.
16. Then he is lost to Islam. And we do know what's all out there and what they're teaching over here in the West. It ain't no Islam. So we know all is lost. Because they teaches everything but Islam over here.
Yeah, they practice Western existentialism.
That's right.
That's what they
So that
the
ought to
highest
tell
form
you
over
something
there.
right there. And you wonder why people conditions is the way they are. It says, lost to is lost.
Mm-hmm.
Lost.
Which is equivalent to the word knowledge. We think it's some type of religious exercise due to Western philosophers or sociologists structuring a framework for you to think out of.
Yeah.
And then say those ideas are your own self.
Yeah.
These ideas that we adopt don't need to be adopted. You already have your own unique self. You don't have to adopt anything. You are unique, meaning there's nothing like you. It can't be carbon copied. You can't say, speak, feel, do exactly like anyone else if you unique. Different moment, different time for every single thing when we're talking about unique.
Speaking of unique, is that why, if you notice, everything that has life down here on earth, certain things that have life sticks out. It's so unique. In every race of people, what they call race, don't nobody look like us. I'm just looking at the uniqueness. How you so melanated and got that darkness to you. But you don't see it that way. You look at it as color. You look at it as black. You look at it as, only thing I can say to you is that we got to get the all knowledge so that you can be proud of how you look, and that darkness is the reason why you're dark. It says 17, better the world be that such stupidity never be born. Stupidity never be born. How many people has been born today and wrapped up in stupidity? Than to disgrace the way of Allah. Disgrace. Disgrace to yourself. Disgrace to others. How many people have told you this when you got it so bad? They'll get you, man, you're a disgrace to the family. You're a disgrace to your parents. You're a disgrace to, just look how you're moral. Look how you're virtuous. Just look how you know become. Lord than the fish and the monkey. And we can get just like that too.
Through belief.
All our actions.
Through belief. Belief is the antithesis or the opposite of knowing. It's the beginning, like the child. They believe, but they don't know yet. But that's the beginning stages of a child. So when you was a child, you believed as a child.
Right.
But when you became a metaphysical being, you know now.
Yeah.
But when you was a physical being, you didn't know. And back to some references of why we don't look the same and why you unique, and especially from him, meaning the albino or the blanco. When we talking about the Caucasoid, why he don't look uniquely to our kind. We've been watching this kind for a long time, at least a while for some history. It's recorded in history before they came here and after they came here. So most people is intrigued. They never seen these type of creatures before, and seeing what these creatures are capable of. Now you should know more. And now, with that being said, you know that these, maybe not all of them, but they don't stand in the opposite of it. They don't say, hey, this is wrong. They don't say, hey, this is not right. This is what you should be teaching the people and telling the people. It's all societal now. And it's all global now as far as internet communication. So with telecommunications, they still not saying anything. They still are lying. So it shows just the character of what they respect. They honor the teachings of false prophets. And this is why those who believe in those teachings will have false outcomes. And the result of that would be your belief in false teachings. And our uniqueness is that we have the soul from Allah. So how could people hate Allah and then not tell you about Allah and then say they got a soul from Allah? Like, that doesn't make no sense. It's all logical. These people come and tell you and change the name and tell you everything but Allah. And you regret and suppress your own lack of not studying and not seeking for better knowledge to inquire yourself for a better decision. If you're going to rest your life on something that's going to be called death, you want to make sure that it's proper. And so now, since we have mixed the one drop of blood or the soul, this has created all types of beings. Yeah. And so now we don't know what is what. Yeah, and who's who.
Who's who.
Yes, but the soul is black. This is why the antithesis of black is white. All people who are in deep study of knowledge knows that knowledge is equivalent to the soul. So when we're talking about why they don't look like us, is because they don't have that in them. If it was in them like it was in us, it'll be in them where they look like us. But we're talking about it's a knowledge that's inside of you. Mm-hmm. It's a special knowledge that is real. Mm-hmm. This is why you not the opposite of that color, which is the illusion. Mm-hmm. But we still think white is the power. We still believe in white supremacy. It's nothing so called as white supremacy. Mm-hmm. Only thing that's being called is superior knowledge. Mm-hmm. And since they never told you what the superior knowledge is, who never told you claimed it. White supremacy. Yeah. They talking about it's a supreme knowledge. Mm-hmm. That if you know this, and if you don't know this, this will be heaven and hell on earth.
That's right.
If you know it, heaven. Yeah. If you don't know it, hell.
That's right. And that explains why we've been catching hell all this time, because the one who have the upper hand in the higher knowledge is playing the knowledge game on us. And this is what's been going on today, is the knowledge game. If he set up his schools for you to come to, he has his knowledge and what he's going to teach out of that school, out of that university. And if you notice, all universities have their curriculum. And certain things you can do and certain things you can't before you get there. And once you get there, and if you go there, then you become part of that. You either part of Allah in his creation, or you part of that school that not of Allah, because if the word Allah is not present or in there and mandatory to be taught, then you might want to get out of there. simply put.
Yeah. If it ain't created by your peoples, get out of it.
Get out of there.
This is
I
what,
know it may sound a little crazy.
to those unstudied,
Yeah.
it will. But those who study, they know.
That's right.
And
that's
so,
what
know is more powerful than not knowing.
that's right.
Allah didn't say he's not knowing.
Mm-hmm.
Allah didn't say he's not knowledge. Allah said he's all knowledge. So, what that means to a self? Do self have any reflection to that? I mean, you can't fake the front. You only gonna find out at death that you was a fake.
Yeah.
Truth is about self.
Yeah.
And that's what I have learned. We don't know what self is. Self is the truth.
That's right.
And if you lie to yourself, that's the worst thing you can do.
That's right. And how many lie to themselves and deny themselves and believe in somebody else on a daily blessing. They don't believe in nothing but what somebody else says and does. And we know for a fact that this system that's set up today's shop for us to live under we ought to know for a fact that this can't be it. We ought to be done learned by now with all the equality, all the injustice and injustice, and then he has a department for where you can come and get it, justice if you need it. Think about that. He has a department called justice, and anytime you need a little bit, come to him. And look what a mess we have today. Because it's not all knowing. And this is what we're talking about today. Knowledge, Super 25. 19 says, yet a man who respects knowledge and culture. Knowledge and culture? Your culture? Where's your culture? Is it buried? 20 says, who seek to make himself better. To make yourself better in knowledge.
Only one thing gonna do that.
Well, I can tell you one thing. You can tell when anybody don't have it or don't fully have it. He got to come to you. He got to come here. They got to get you to do this, do that. You see so many people pretty much walk around pretty much helpless. And we talking about elders here now. The self-esteem is running low. Everything pretty much running low. The knowledge is running low. That's why you see us in the condition we in. That's why we turn to everybody but ourselves. Who we waiting on to fix our problem? Capitol Hill. That's where you lift up your eyes to them parties. "21. Even if he does not follow the way of Islam." How many out there does not follow the way? He even said if he does not follow the way of Islam, then he is a better Muslim than 1,000 pious monkeys. 23, who refused to use the gift given unto them. Remember in the Mother Sufa, we was talking about the gift of Allah that what He had gave man and woman.
Like the gift of discernment.
Yeah, you will see that it's all dealing with knowledge if you just reflect long enough.
Yeah, just reflect
If you
on it.
study the
Yeah.
Sufyan long enough, these things are all associated with knowledge.
Because when you have discernment, that's knowledge working in action deed. Because see, now we should be discerned about how everything's being run and governed by the government, and it ain't doing us no good. We should be discerned about that. We should be ready for a change. Anything that's been going on for decades, and then half of a century, of not a whole century, a whole 100 years, and not one century, but many centuries, and we still believe in democracy.
To know ignorance. It's like knowing ignorance is what brings about discernment. So like knowledge of people not having discernment is bringing about discernment for you. It's like knowledge of, you got knowing the two is like what's the brings wisdom, you know. But most people ain't even caring. You know, they haven't heard that they have a gift of discernment or what discernment is or anything like that. Not saying that they need to be told, because that's what Allah says in the Sufyan that you don't need to be told. But I'm just saying people are at that state where they're having to be told a lot of things because they're not using the will within. So.
Their will has been stolen.
Yeah.
These people that y'all dealing with do not like y'all, and they will steal your will, and they have. And if you don't have, you know if they stole your will because you don't seek for knowledge.
So when they've stolen the will, when they've stolen the will, the steps on how we go about getting the will back
It's through seeking knowledge.
is to seeking knowledge.
Knowledge yourself.
Knowledge yourself. And with knowledge yourself, seeking knowledge yourself, what would you suggest for someone to do first?
Reject, as it says, reject ignorance.
Ignorant.
If you can't reject ignorance and evil,
I remember you telling me that to be honest was like the first step. That was a good intro.
yeah.
Being honest with yourself.
Do you realize how beautiful it is? That's what's wrong with all them marriage. I constantly love. See, because when you being honest in your marriage, man, everything gonna be beautiful. You ain't bringing nothing in the game. You ain't bringing no defilement or illness in the marriage. Let that stay out. And this what destroys them all. You bring in something in the game. You bring in impurity instead of keeping it pure. What you think gonna start to happen now once you put a spot of evil or wickedness?
As 23 say, who will refuse? This is the whole point right here.
To use the gift.
If you already have it, y'all,
Yeah.
then you got to go and get it.
Look at that. Look at that.
So what are you being fooled to go and get?
Yeah. Yeah. See?
If you was already that what you search for,
Yeah.
why would you need to search for it?
Right. Trick daddy.
I don't think people
Has got
I see
'em.
is that they need to be shown the way. As far as their choices, that's on them, but they need to be shown the way.
And so that's what's called a mind virus. When you don't have self-gnosis,
Yeah.
that's called a mind virus. And these are the most deadliest characters to be around.
I was saying
Because mind viruses are the most deadlier than any type virus.
They are.
hypnotized.
They are.
But I know that people can't say that they ain't sensing that there's a malfunction going on. Something on the body has manifested, some type of illness, sickness, something that's showing you that there's something
And
going
still
on.
ignoring it?
That part right there, that's where people that do know can come in and help relate that to a malfunction. Like, okay, hey, something needs to be done because of this. But they are under a virus, a mild virus. You know what I'm saying? So.
Oh, it's been stated out loud. But we got to come to the grips that we are refusing. It ain't nothing you can do for anyone who refuse to not confuse.
That's right.
Refuse. Someone refused to use the gifts already given to them. What can you do for them?
Yeah.
You wasting your time through your own ignorance now. This is why it's saying the way it's saying. We should be ashamed of ourselves because you don't even have to learn. There's some things you already know inside that'll keep you. You just don't know maybe the full extent of it, but you know you shouldn't go no further than that. You have a sense that arises. And that sense is discernment. That's an emotion. That's for you to get out of all the emotions that come forth. Discernment is emotion that we're supposed to use for emotional intelligence. To know that's not right to do. And if we don't have emotional intelligence, then knowledge can't even activate because emotional bondage is going to activate. That's a reactivity. So it's these things we don't know, and we done spent 40, 30 years. There's plenty of texts, plenty of books. Do you think Allah really feel compassion to the point that you ain't feeling the compassion? This is what we have to understand. It's not about the reward of the physical.
24. With knowledge, man rises to the height of goodness. See what he gonna need? With knowledge, man rises. Of goodness. Because see, when you see the man this day's time rising to the height of badness instead of goodness, this is why we have so much war going on and so much killing going on, because the evil leaders have risen to the height of badness, of evilness. 25, and to a noble position associated with sovereign in this world.
It's a key word used there. This is what knowledge will do. Not only raise you to the heights of goodness, meaning there ain't no bad in knowledge. How? It knows the difference. Now, when we're talking about the ignorant, their heights is badness. What you think? Why you think you don't want your child growing up bad? Why you think you do as much as you can so your child don't grow up with evil action?
That's right.
Every parent does that for their child if they got melanin or carbon or soul in their body.
That's so true. And Allah wants us to do, we should look at our divine creator just like if we look at our parents and how our parents want us, that what you just said, to be the best that we can be. Don't you know that this is what Allah is trying to get through to us in the all-knowing, that that's what he wants us to be as well as his divine creatures. Just think on that a little bit.
And solvers,
noble position.
those are other people that are free.
Sovereign in this world.
Those are noble people who are free through
right.
knowledge.
That's right.
See, everybody ain't citizens. They didn't use the word citizens there.
No.
The ones who are over citizens are called sovereigns.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have equal classification.
Mm. So I guess that's why everybody want to trap them a government, and then they want to be the sovereign to be ruling over the people.
Right. That's why you see the people that make money ain't fighting over money or working themselves to death for money.
Mm-mm.
Because it's a whole different position. It ain't physical. The other people believe in the physical so much.
Mm.
If your base of who you are is metaphysical, you tell me, how do you get conjured into believing physical? That means you believe atoms in existence is more important than yourself.
Yeah.
This is what people are chasing, objects.
Yeah.
They always got an objective in mind.
Yeah.
Their goal is never education.
Mm-mm.
Their goal is an objective that equals to making money,
Mm-hmm.
which keeps himself in the hypnosis of the trance.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll only be over at death. Because the blind can't see.
In today's society, that's all everybody obligated to. Their focus is on getting their money. Once they get the money, then they buy the home and the car. And then after that, they try to obtain anything that pretty much benefit their lower desires. So, and then that's what they go fishing in and pretty much want to do the rest of their life till they like take the last breath. This is what pretty much everybody's caught up into. Getting the money, getting the homes, getting the cars, and all that is wrapped around that comes along with it. It's what they call the ultimate goal of success.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know nothing about themselves or anything about their soul. It ain't too much about life itself, really. "26. And obtain to the perfection of happiness in the next life."
Perfection.
This world, this life, and yet to obtain to the perfection of happiness in the next life.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute now. Are you saying that there's another life after this one? How can that be? When you're dead, you're done. When you come up short of all knowledge, that's the trap that's been set for you, because you don't really know how life goes. Excuse me. Next line. "27. It, knowledge, enables its possessors to distinguish right from wrong." distinguish right from wrong.
Main thing.
Right from wrong.
That's what people say with wisdom. Wisdom for discernment. That means knowledge. To know the difference
Between.
is to have knowledge. Wisdom cannot exist if knowledge don't exist. Wisdom is what builds everything. Knowledge is the resources that wisdom use. And once we understand that we equivalent to the same model that we're talking about, then we can take ourselves to not only past space, to space travel, but we talking about to a whole new next life.
Yeah. Yeah. 28. Its lights the way to heaven. Talking about knowledge in that.
Mm-hmm.
Because we was talking about distinguish right from wrong. This is the way to heaven. 29.
The light.
Light.
Because that's a powerful term in these days. So many people use the term light to discover or say that's what God is. Or light is knowledge.
Yeah.
So light, now the marvelous light is something to do with a divine knowledge.
That's right.
So when one saying anyone can possess this, if they choose to use the gifts already given to them. But if we keep acting like our gifts don't exist and that they powers on the external so much greater than you, your whole being of consciousness, that is multidimensional, and this one dimension is flattening you to a point where your psychology is in vanity. How everything, as more than one people are all searching for the same one thing. They have transported what knowledge is into money, because everybody's searching for money. If you go in the ancient past, everybody was searching for knowledge. This is why I say know thyself, not guess, not believe. So the fulfillment, and I'm just telling you, is real. If you choose to take the journey, you shall be rewarded.
Mm-hmm. 29. It is our friend in the desert. Knowledge. That's the true friend. That's the real friend. But you don't want none of that. 30. It is our society in solitude. It is our companion when friendless. How many friends you have today? How many companions in your life today that might walk out any moment, any time? You better get the real companion.
Yes, this is such beautiful.
We too busy searching for the wrong companion. How many of us guilty of that? But we think we got the right one now, because we got Mr. Good Guy now. This is him. This is him. This is she. This is she.
Yeah, everybody think it's objective, physical.
Yeah. They in the physical side. Ooh, they into that physical. Good God.
Objective acceptance leads to self-denial. We have to understand these formulas. If we don't, your life is just gonna be based upon your knowledge. And the more you lack, the more you're gonna be, as we see in the opposite of this. You're gonna be in the desert,
Yeah.
in solitude,
Caught in a
surrounded by a lot of friends.
trap. Yeah.
These are signs of dependencies and insecurities. The truth don't need a friend. It stands alone if you studying.
That's right. Yep. And mostly everybody you know out there that turns to others and the wrong companion always wind up getting what? Hurt.
Hurt.
Even us ourselves till we got to where we at today, somebody done hurt you.
Yes.
Or break the book you.
Two
broke your
hurts.
heart.
He and she both hurt.
One of the two. And this is what we do daily. Each and every day we looking to others.
So that's what they do. For 18 years, that's been stopped for me. I don't even know none of that. All I know is knowledge.
32. It guides us to happiness. Knowledge. Not your lover. Don't that make sense? Because now you trust and believe in your lover now, and now he has happiness in his hand. He can snatch it away any moment. You piss him off. Or do something he don't want or like. He snatch it away. 33. It sustains us to rise above misery. Come on, knowledge. Ain't nothing worrying me.
As far as it's a guidance. It's a shot of our own ignorance.
To find happiness with or without.
Because I wouldn't care. I mean, I did the work, so you're not lying to me. To anybody who say they doing whatever they doing, you lying to yourself, not to me. I don't do that. That's why I put the time in. So I don't lie to myself and say I'm doing something that I'm not doing.
Yeah.
I have the right because I do the right.
Rise above misery. And how many today woke up today in misery?
Good point.
Oh, that's pretty much every day. Because if you don't have the right knowledge and all knowledge, you're swimming around in a sea of misery. Or a lake, or a pond, or a river.
Yeah, if you ain't naturally happy, you don't have knowledge. Knowledge is naturally good. It's not something, it don't have a downer in it. So your own not knowing is what's killing you.
34, it is an ornament amongst friends. Not that you go buy at the drugstore, the ornament. They sell it there too. They got some ornament. Remember the old merchant and the money lender. He got a little everything. He waiting on you.
Mm-hmm.
35. And it is armor against enemies. I remember what Jesus said, put on the whole armor of God. in the birthplace of righteousness. Knowledge is that armor, the whole armor, the whole truth. "36. The acquisition of knowledge is a duty." Whoa, wait a minute. Don't nobody want to work in acquire knowledge. I ain't got time. I got to get to my job.
It's a duty.
That's my duty.
You see how the card's being played?
Yeah,
The sleight of
because
hand?
Now the job got it. And now that's your duty right there. Is work.
Ask anybody who have a job. Did they give you self-knowledge?
Right there.
Or do they just care about you performing their knowledge? They don't care about what your self got going on, but they want you to perform their
They need you to
knowledge.
To show up to work every day or be on standby, a house call or emergency call.
Right. So duty, because this is not taught in church. This simple principle that's laid down in this text is not even preached or taught in church. People want to worship this stuff because it takes the load off you seeking. The answer don't come through you, let's say not knowing. Let's just say the answer don't come from you not knowing. Since it says the duty, the acquisition of knowledge is a duty, the etymology of duty says it's an obligatory service. That which ought to be done. The force of that which is morally right. That which one is bound by natural, moral, or legal obligation to do or perform.
See that? Legal obligation.
So how many people you can count on your hand that makes knowledge a duty?
That's on the back burner.
Now, how many times have you listened to these people?
That's on the back burner.
They have a mouth to speak.
Oh, but everything, that ain't coming out.
This is why it's important to understand what true friends are. True friends is not one who are yes men.
Yeah.
True friends are those who are associated with knowledge. Making sure you know before you just go out and do.
Yeah.
The only thing you should go out and do is seek knowledge. Now that's going to keep you from making yourself into trouble, a trouble man or a troublemaker.
Yeah.
If you seeking for knowledge, how you going to get into trouble? You got to get into trouble by doing some type of knowledge. So if you reverse the polarity and say I'm finna seek instead of do, now we get aligned with this number 36. Because remember, this is the way of Allah. This ain't the way of your common man, your average, below average male.
Acquisition.
And your below average female. This is for extraordinary character beings incarnated to make themselves better. We ain't talking about to death. We talking about make yourself better. This is the key. To make ourselves better. And we getting a whole lot of qualifications. What it looks like. You should be lighting the way to heaven. You should be having friends when it looks like you alone. This knowledge should be your society. Knowledge should be your companion. If we sad, we should be seeking knowledge because it guides us to happiness. That's the most important thing people looking for is happiness. But how come no one never associated happiness with knowledge? They associate it with a temporal time-space coordinate, like a TV, place it here. Like a refrigerator, sit it there. And nothing that you can sit anywhere will make you happy.
Yeah, 'cause you got access to all that you just named, and you're still ain't happy. You got money, you still ain't happy. You got cars, you still ain't happy. You got 2 or 3 big homes, you still ain't happy.
And if you got problems, that means you got lack of knowledge. Because it said you should rise above misery, correct? If you read it, it sustains us to rise above misery.
I think rich people have to be honest that they have problems if they got problems. That's the point. They're not being honest with themselves that they have problems.
You can't look to do it for someone else. Your honesty is your honesty. If they can't grow up, then they still in belief. This is how you judge who true or not. It ain't about likability or favorability. It's about who has knowledge. You looking for saving power.
Yeah.
Now, if you ask someone a question to help them self-reflect on it, like
Saving knowledge.
if you like, okay, you got diabetes, right? And it's like, yeah.
Good question, because a lot of our people got diabetes.
Oh, it's truckload of them now.
And then you say, okay, now, what's you do? You know what's the cause of the diabetes,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Once you are aware of what it is and you're honest with yourself, now what you gonna do? Because it's like they got to get to the point with honesty. Like, okay, yeah, do you know who's causing this sickness or illness? They might start getting to thinking like, I'm trying to figure out who's
Right.
to blame.
Oh, you looking
You know
around.
it. You know it.
Blame somebody.
But eventually they should be honest with themselves and point the finger to themselves. And then from there, okay, now, with you knowing that, what you got to know next is something that needs to be known. Since there's a problem, there has to be an answer, or solution to the problem, right? Like helping them self-reflect. I think it ain't nothing wrong with that, but like just telling someone, like they need to do this or they need to do that or they're doing wrong, but what they doing ain't right, it's not gonna make a difference.
37. Incumbent on every Muslim, male and female, he who leaves home in search of knowledge, walks in the path of the divine and the prophets. So, see, this is what's going on when you true seekers and true searchers, searching for knowledge. It's just what you're doing, walking in the path.
For me, if I was just reading this for the first time, which I'm not, if I was just reading this for the first time, which I have, I had to come to this for the first time. When I read, I'm reading to know. And when I'm reading and some tell me like this, and I come upon this sentence for the first time, he who leaves home in search of knowledge walks in the path of the divine. That line to me would tell me that knowledge is divine. It just associated
That's right.
contextually. One who seeks after knowledge walks
Yeah.
walks in the path of the divine. You saying that people could not know, but all of us have this ability.
To know.
This is what gives you the ability to think. That knowledge is why you can think. That's not something that was given to you. That's because knowledge is present in you. But you don't know what it is, so you never draw that out of you. It actually stayed suppressed and became a closet buddy. But not nothing of saving power. Everybody on earth looks to walk in God, but they never thought that it has to deal with knowledge. It has to deal with pleasing people, making people your buddies,
Oh boy.
making sure everybody is fed and dead,
Oh boy.
fed but dead.
Okay.
See, this is where our people are being
Indeed.
enslaved for the longest. Food is everywhere right now.
It is.
Our people are more dead to the knowledge of self than ever before. We're supposed to have a whole new generation speaking, raising the ethos to this knowledge of self, making it a whole new phenomenon. What rap is what KOS will be. It's the new generational whole epoch. We're not talking about no short time. We're talking about over 430 years, 430,000 years. That's a long time.
Sure is.
And it-
Long time.
Right.
5 more years will be 500 years.
Goodness gracious.
And we talking about something that's gonna last until the cycle, returns.
Well, all I could think about was all these paths everybody walking and they're not divine. They just passes of evil and destruction.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of trails out there. A lot of paths out there. Forward, acquire then such knowledge. 41, one learned man is harder on the devil. One learned man than 1,000 ignorant worshippers. You see? This is what's been going on with our people. We went from 1,000 to million ignorant worshippers. How you know? The proof is in the pudding. Tell me what you see of our people. 43, whoever seek knowledge will get 2 rewards. Look at that. Whoever seek knowledge. Because some don't want it. All they want is their job. That's their duty. One reward is the knowledge of self gained by such a journey. One reward is the knowledge of self gained by such a journey. All along this time and traveling to and fro, learning knowledge of self.
And that's
not going to your friend's house to hang out to get into something. Not that type of knowledge. And you wonder why today people don't have no spiritual parties or soulful parties, where they just leave the food out, everything, and you just talk to them. It's what we're going to gather today, and it's what we're going to talk about. You don't see them kind of parties no more, or they don't have them at all. $45, the other reward, we know what the one reward is, knowledge of self-gain by such a journey. The other reward is obtaining the knowledge sought. Obtaining the knowledge that's sought. Holding on to it, because if you ain't careful, it'll leak out and seek out, and you forget all about it. Then somebody come knocking on your door and say, "Hey man, I got this right here for you. I have this knowledge right here for you. Don't worry about that. Just let that other go." Therefore, even if one does not attain the original goal, for them is always the greater reward. 48.
The greater reward comes with knowledge,
Yeah.
not the lesser.
48. Seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave. Now you can tell that some of the scriptures that was written was wrote in some of the books, but not all books. It tells you like that, seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave, being born from the time you're born all the way till you take your last breath.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of books don't say that way.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm trying to say.
You don't.
But don't that make sense?
Once we know what knowledge
The
is,
minute you learn how to speak and talk, or know good from bad,
mm-hmm.
or could say dad, mama, you better have them to say Allah as well on that tongue. Because you teach me, I guarantee you he can say Allah. He might can say that better because that's more of his tongue.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it.
Right.
That sounds better. Allah sounds better than dad.
Mm-hmm. It's all the same, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
48, I'm going to do the rest of these and then I'll let somebody else do some. 49, go in quest. Say, go in quest of knowledge. Even unto the farthest land, no matter how far. Boy, you know you got to be a true seeker when you get to leaving from where you at. That means you want it bad, ain't it? Because people flying all over the place to get in and they go to get their jollies off. They'll fly here, fly there, fly here, back there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But are they going to seek or wherever they're traveling? Are they going there for knowledge or are they
That's
going there
the
for
difference.
pleasures?
That's the difference between the past and now.
Okay.
The past, the people will walk
That's right.
these distances
That's right.
to get to these
Once
places.
upon a time, that's right.
Because the person they needed was there.
That's right. They walk.
And so now all we got to do is go on the internet. Law has made it so much powerful. We will have to cross so many lands to get to what we have in our hands right now. And since we are so lazy, we can't even appreciate the internet for being able to cut distance, time, and space away. This is how important Allah wants you to have laws. No.
It's not the internet. It's ends that's out there having to go out and search that knowledge like yourself. There's plenty on the internet for others. You gotta give some appreciation to beings like yourself, the scholar, that's actually going out there and seeking. But yeah, the internet has made it easier.
Mm-hmm. So no. And so that has to be appreciated.
They used to have to go to libraries and sit in the library and pull out cards and shift through cards to try to figure out where a book was, just to read the book to see if it was book BS or not.
Man, I know I done read more books than people done paid bills. And I wanted to know, and I still always on the seek, as it said, from the cradle to the grave.
Fifth, the search of knowledge is an obligation laid on every Muslim. 51 OU who believe knowledge is the friend of truth, faith in Allah.
You see the
OU who
difference?
believe.
Mm-hmm.
That's the real friend. Knowledge is the friend of truth.
Yeah, you believe in
Faith
knowledge.
in Allah.
Mm-hmm. You believe in knowledge.
And hey, have you ever ran into an ignorant friend or have associate yourself with an ignorant friend and you get to know him and then next thing you know, you want to get away from him? I think we all experience that because his character bad. He got bad morals. You start getting away from him. And then some of them are clean to him and then they get in a world of trouble. Every time.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to know who the true friend is now. And that's knowledge.
That's what's so
We
important.
done ran to the other friend that we thought I was our friend, and we seen how that turned out to be. Some of them turned on you, or stabbed you in the back.
Kinda like,
Oh, and I thought they were my friend. Yeah, you keep on living. Go ahead, Shay.
kind of like what one of somebody was saying earlier about friends. They was like they don't use the term friend because it got end. That he said they don't use nothing. They got the word end at the end to describe something that's supposed to be supposed to be family. They was like how the book say, family and community outside of yourself. But yeah, we associating relationships that should kind of end as relationships that should be long term. No, them are your friends. They should end.
But that's why in America you have not heard of Islam, because the premise of Islam is based on knowledge. And the premise of based on knowledge is seeking knowledge, not harming people, lying to people. And so, of course, they wouldn't want that on the land because it's self-knowledge. And so no one who is a colonizer would want you as a colony full of self-knowers. So why would anyone create a system that is not a part of your family that will create you and make you one as if they your family?
Yeah.
We just have to wake up to the times we in and to a true gnosis. I mean, it's self-gnosis. You know your mother and your father, that's enough. And if you don't know them, know you came out of a father and mother, and that's enough. And if you didn't know you came out of a father and mother, then this is where we don't have no self-gnosis. If you think you sprung out for some land, if you think you sprung out some thin clouds, if you don't think you came from actual beings, so this is where self-knowledge comes from. So when we're talking about our parents, our elders, our great grandfathers and great mothers, they didn't make none of this weird. That's why I don't get. You will live on what your parents gave, which is true, but what someone else is giving, they has no connection with your parents, and you believe them full-fledged when you actually can live through what your parents leave you.
That's right. No doubt for you.
But somehow, someone gets in your head and tricks you. And this is where black people are at. They are tricked by their own kind now, and they tricked by ones that look totally opposite than their kind. So now it's two rocks in a hard place, because now the same kind of people look like you are just as liars, just like the people that don't look like you. In the sense of not looking like the fool and say, I do not know. This is why we need to seek. Be on the quest. This is what your life should be dedicated to from the cradle to the grave. But that's why a lot of people don't associate with Islam, because true Islam, as it's saying, is a Sufyan. This is the second name of Allah. This has been hidden from myself, but it returned to myself, because I am that which what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm not no scholar. You can miss me with that. I'm a Sufyan. Y'all don't have to embrace it. You don't know what it is. You're not seeking for it. But someone who is seeking for it is that. And so he has brought forth the apple so you can eat the same type of fruits he eating from the tree. We're talking about the tree of life, which is abundance for all of us. No one tree can feed all the people, but one knowledge can. And this is the knowledge of the Sufyan that can feed all souls. And so this is where we have to understand that the true friend ain't had nothing to do with physicality. The true friend, what y'all said, faith cannot be seen. It's a substance that cannot be seen. That substance that can't be seen is knowledge. You'll never see this, but you have a gift to be able to use it. And it's a show that you honor your own self by respecting yourself and not being fooled or tricked by another one. Because the next thing is you're going to be really removed off your land. They don't care about what you believe. If you don't know nothing, this is where the trouble starts. You can say all you want, but if you ain't willing to die for what you're saying, you might as well not say it. Because this is why it's saying from the cradle to the grave. Everybody ain't going to believe how you believe, but they know what you know. Now that's two different. Everybody might not believe how you believe, but they know what you know. This is why everybody been tricked. They've been going off belief, picking this over that, picking that over this, going here over there, selecting nowhere over everywhere. And now this is where everyone is at the time and space of their own visualization of death. And through faith, as they was told in the Bible terms, that you can reach the Creator. And now we should know now that faith is talking about is knowledge.
53. Ignorance is the friend of true evil. 54. That masks itself as divine and entrap the soul of men. 55. When you do a good deed. I'll let somebody take 56 on. Trap the soul.
Which is the most important thing not to skip over. I mean, unless y'all don't mind.
Traps the soul.
Yeah. Who want to get their soul trapped? Y'all talk to me.
No, I don't.
Because if you run over it, that means you're going to get trapped.
Yeah,
That's just how you think animals get trapped.
that's right.
They run over the knowledge. So if you keep reading is not the same thing as comprehending, because comprehending is associated with knowledge.
Yeah,
I know people who can read, but they still don't have knowledge.
yeah, that's right.
We might as well spend the last 10 minutes when we're just going over what we read.
Well, in respect for the people who will be watching.
Because we ain't gonna be able to get through the rest of it in 10 minutes.
Okay. So just instead of you taking 4
Starting it.
and just lock it down from 53 and 54.
We got 56.
Yeah, 'cause we got a long
Okay,
ways
to
go.
56.
You sure don't want to run over that, run through it.
Well, 54, so we really need to talk about doing after the aftermath of all these religions. Now we should be asking ourselves, what do these colonizers want with us? Why do they want us to believe?
They're garbage.
Right.
They a trap.
And why are they forcing you?
Yeah.
So why are they not giving you many options to choose from? Why are they making it seem like it's one option or die?
That's right. He's an enemy to the truth. That's what he is. Because everything he do is bad. Remember what the super said. Enemies of Allah. You don't think you have a few walking around as well? You part of Allah and is of Allah. You don't think you're going to have enemies as well too? Because if Allah has enemies, then you're going to have some too. And these enemies have life in them that will harm you.
The greatest thing an enemy could do is get you to hate, to accept hate as love. It'll never work for someone like myself, but for others, I mean, they could still be unstudied, so they could be tricked by words. Mm-hmm. People have ruined people's lives by just saying certain words to them.
Yep.
Without no supported knowledge, especially your knowing. Not you seen this firsthand, not that you read something, not that you have some recollection of actual happenings that you actually referring for instead of opinions and hearsay. She said this, hearsay, or even my own superfluous thoughts that could be my own unknowing.
I think everybody talk good, like good when it comes to that, but then when somebody say something that really push your button.
Oh boy, don't take much.
Because it ain't even about one thing that's said to another might not make them upset, or makes you upset. As if somebody else said it to the other person, it would make them upset. Mm-hmm. That right there is a thin line because certain things don't make other people upset or be disrespectful. But then other people cause disrespect. What do you do there? Because it becomes a problem. So what do you suggest? What is your philosophy? What do you do in your philosophy?
Knowledge and ignorance. With knowledge, you always know what to do. It's the ignorance who don't. I mean, this stuff is just, maybe it's rocket science to those who.
Okay, so what's the knowledge with that?
What we just read. You can't undo something you didn't create. You just got to settle into it. Why try to unfix something you didn't even fix? You didn't make this universe. You didn't make a being in it. You didn't make a plant. You didn't make anything in it. Why are you so invested into what you into? The game here is not a game. That's called entertainment. Entertainment is the form of ignorance.
So you're saying you don't have to be invested in somebody disrespecting you?
Yeah, if you ain't disrespecting yourself, what does that mean to the other person? Only person that's disrespecting is when you disrespect your own self. This is what the masters of war, exactly, the warlords have taught people.
But people when somebody feels offended or get disrespected, they feel like it's time to go to war.
Right.
So.
And it's you either gonna go to war off of knowledge, meaning you gonna become knowing, or you gonna go to war off of ignorance.
And something else you can also do, like once you have learned and you have knowledge of self, then you should be able to, if you come in contact with any member, whether it be family or non-family, or anything that had life, once you know and you have knowledge, then you ought to know that person when you come in contact with them pretty much just where they stand. because it shouldn't take a long time to figure out who's who or what they know. Because the minute you open your mouth or they open their mouth, we should know just what's coming out that person's mouth, pretty much. Do he have it? Or he don't have it? Has he been studying? Or he hasn't been studying? You will know now.
That's the point.
Everybody we meet in every day, every case, we ought to know right from the get-go the minute he open his mouth. See or he.
That's the
A lot of
reward for
people be
myself.
acting like they don't know, Like, say for instance, we know the person ain't got knowledge of stuff, but then they say something that might disrespect or hurt or whatever out the way, and then we'll go off, get upset, as though this person should have known better. Now that's another thing that I think
That
got
happened
bad.
too. Yeah.
We got it bad with that because I mean it's like, oh, they knew better, but no, they didn't. Them folks don't know, and that's the problem, the main problem. But when the people that do know, now we got to have some responsibilities for ourselves when we do know, not to be reacting in those such ways because we know they don't know.
Right, that's my point right there. You know, but they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And they could be close to you. And if you can't love them, it does kind of touch you up a little bit or something because you want the best of them. Because you see them in their misery and you want to try to help them get out of that.
And that's
But what if he don't want to come out of that? Or he or she love doing what they doing?
That's where it's become a relaxing point for myself.
Then you gotta just love them.
For what they are and what they is, and it's on them. If they fall short, it's on them.
Correct.
You respect them.
That's right.
It's just that simple.
Because
Well,
it
you
says
respect yourself.
you respect others as well as you respect yourself,
Right.
regardless of what they may know or don't know. And we run into that each and every day, y'all.
Tell others that you respect their ignorance,
Yeah,
but you respect knowledge.
that's right.
It's just like that. It's about, for me, because I really walk this path. So for me, it ain't about teaching. It ain't about none of the things that we thought it was about. For me, it's just as I put it in the knowledge. It's knowledge of self. I'm not getting this to be able to even speak to people online. It's just people need this.
Yeah, if they want to hear it or listen,
And I know it works because it works for me.
yeah.
And I'm no better than anyone else. I just will take the time.
Yeah, to do that.
Because time is life for me and life is knowledge.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm not going to the grave how everybody, they may want to go to the grave with belief.
Yeah.
That's just not my nature. I'm named after a nature that means what it means.
Yeah.
And so I will be what I am from pre-existing the body. It's just what it is. We don't know these things because we don't take the time out. So it's okay for people who don't know. That's why they still here. And it's going to be many populations that's still going to be here. It's your job to make sure you grow and you learn and you go to your next life.
Whosoever will, let him come.
Don't let this world hold you down, hold you back.
That's what I ain't gonna do.
If you have knowledge,
That's
fly.
what I ain't gonna do right there.
Free, be free. So I
You
think
shall
that
know the truth, and the truth shall make you what?
free.
Free.
That's why free is in my name.
Conclude.
Oh yeah. Yep. Let me go back over here.
Yeah, leave it right there, and we start up from 55.
Yeah.
Start from 55 right at the heart.
Yeah. So we close in the name of Allah. Wadu.